heard Mike Elias speak earlier, and he talked about there's 4 players are now deciding to take with the #1 pick in the overall draft coming in just a few days. Will it be an obvious player? Will there be a surprise factor? Who are you thinking they go with on Monday?
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be a big surprise. I think Adley Rutschman, who is widely considered the top player in the draft, switch-hitting catcher from Oregon State. I think most people are assuming the Orioles are going to pick him. I think they're going to take him too. There's a chance that they might look at Bobby Witt Jr. He's widely considered the second best prospect, shortstop, Texas high school kid. His dad, Bobby Witt Sr., used to pitch in the major leagues. Supposed to be a fantastic athlete, so they could look at a guy like him. Andrew Vaughn, first baseman from Cal, fantastic hitter, not so much with the glove. But I think Rutschman is considered one of the best prospects to come along at any level since maybe Bryce Harper, people are saying. So when there's a guy like that, it's really hard to pass that up. Now, I will say, though, I've talked to some people this past week, some front office people in other clubs, and they're not convinced. They think it's not a lock. You know, Rutschman has had some shoulder problems in the past. And he's at a position where the shoulder matters. So the Orioles are notoriously meticulous with their medical stuff. So between the injury stuff and the potential money that it might cost to sign him versus maybe one of those second or third guys, it's possible they might surprise everyone and try and save a little money and take like the third or fourth guy on the board. But me personally, I think they're going to go with Rutschman.
With the phase that they're in right now in the middle of this rebuild, would it make more sense to take a college player or a guy that hasn't proven himself but clearly is a stud at the high school level?
Yeah, so that's an interesting point, right? Because if you take a college guy who's really well developed and then he gets here real quick, he gets here a little bit too soon, right? And you've lost some of his service time versus taking a high school kid who might take 2, 3, even 4 years to get here, and then it times up better with your rebuild when the rest of the reinforcements come. Having said all that, though, if you take a guy like a Bobby Witt Jr., who's a high school kid, if a high school guy is that talented and that high up in the draft, chances are he's probably going to get to the big leagues pretty quick anyway. Maybe not as quick as a guy like Rutschman would. You know, Rutschman you might expect to see here even as early as the end of next year, if not the year after. Maybe a high school kid takes an extra year. But I think regardless, you know, you look in the stands, the Orioles are drawing like, what is it, 15,000 a game, I think, on average. It's half of what it was in 2014. I think people are looking for something to be excited about, and I think that matters to the front office. It matters to ownership. So I don't think just to save that year, I don't think you do that. I think if Rutschman's the guy, you go get him. It becomes something that everyone gets excited about, and he's still going to be here for long enough during, you know, when everyone finally gets here. So I don't think it really matters whether they go high school or college.
Big decision coming up in a few days. Eddie, thank you very much.
You got it.